Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm going to start sitting this evening. So if you are using a bolster, you could sit on your bolster, and I'd like you to try and cross at your shins. Wriggle to a position on your bolster where your legs feel suitably supported. If you don't have a bolster, you could sit on a block or just sit on the floor. That's fine as well. If you are in a bolster, put your hands on the sides of the bolster and push down on the floor and wriggle your spine longer. And then let your sit bones drop down. Rest your hands on your thighs and close your eyes for a few breaths just before we begin moving. As you breathe, feel the ability to fine-tune your awareness, tuning it into your body and tuning it into this moment. Leaving the channel of noise outside and all the stuff that might be going on in the rest of your life. For now, just tuning out of that and tuning into this. Giving yourself that choice and setting yourself in that direction. And then open your eyes, interlace your fingers together, push the palms away, and lift your arms straight up. As they come up, try and frame the sides of your head evenly. Push up through the thumb side of your hands and drop a little into the sit bones. Front ribs soft. As your arms release, twist in the direction of the leg that's in front. So twist in the direction of the leg that is in front of the other. You can put one hand on your thigh and the other hand either on the floor or your lower back if you're a bit higher. Come to center and switch the cross of your legs so the other shin is in front or the other ankle is in front. And then when you get your hands together this time, if you can interlace your fingers your less dominant way, so the other thumb and index lead, push palms away from chest, lift up. And as you lift up, be aware of trying to keep the ribs down so that the bottom rim of your rib cage stays down, facing the pelvis. Little fingers press back, sit bones reach down into your bolster toward the earth. And again, as you release your arms, you're turning in the direction of the leg that's in front. Look over your back shoulder as you turn. And then back to center. Let your arms come out to the side and lower your right ear towards your right shoulder. Stay long in the left arm. Head up to center and take your head the other way. Reach long through the opposite arm. So the head's going left, right arm reaches long. And then head back up to center. Place both feet onto the floor in front of your bolster and straighten your legs out. Hold onto opposite elbows and dangle forwards over your legs. Let your elbows go down into your hands so there's a sense of heaviness of your elbows in your hands. And then add a little sway round to the right, round to the left, swaying your spine as opposed to swaying the arms. And then back to center. Just roll your bolster off the side of your mat and turn around into a downward facing dog. Legs reach back, hands forwards. Spread your fingers, lift up through the sit bones. And then lower down onto your hands and knees. Lift your right knee and circle your right knee around so you're moving the thigh bone in the hip joint, in the ball and socket joint between thigh and pelvis. And then change direction, loosening off around that whole range of movement you've got there. Lifting your right hand off the floor so you can step your right foot forwards where the right hand was. Bring your hands onto your front leg and lift your chest and sink the hips down a little and draw your chest back. Ever so slightly tucking the tailbone and firming the belly. Left hand down to the floor and lift your left knee and start to turn your chest toward the right. Bring your right hand onto your right hip and squeeze the right hip towards you and push the left thigh bone up more firmly. And then open your right arm. Looking toward the right. And then your hand comes down inside your foot so you can walk your foot away from the hand back to downward facing dog. Both knees come down to the ground. Left knee lifts and circle your left leg. And again, working as much as you can around the ball and socket joint. Getting right round the full range you can manage here. And then change direction. Lifting your left hand, stepping your left foot forwards where the hand is, and then bring your hands onto the left leg. Lunge forwards a little, tucking the tailbone under, firming the belly in, and drawing your chest up. Nice and tall, right from the knee to the crown of your head. Lightly opening into the front of the right thigh and hip. Right hand comes down to the floor, tuck the right toes and lift the right knee. Start to turn your chest to the left and bring the left hand onto your left hip and squeeze it in like you're pushing it in with your hand. At the same time, firm your right thigh. Lift the left arm. Your hand comes down inside your foot and then wriggle the foot back to downward dog. This time take your right leg up in the air from downward dog, bend the leg and circle your knee round. Again, circling your thigh bone in the ball and socket joint, just like you did when you're on hands and knees. You can do it on hands and knees if you need to. Change direction. Look forwards, and as you step forwards, take your right hand off the floor and replace it with your right foot. Turn the back heel to the floor so your back heel is on the midline of your mat. Bring your hands onto your right leg and lift your chest. Keep the back thigh bone firm and then float both arms all the way up. Have your hands slightly apart to begin with. From the sides of your chest, lift and lengthen up through the back of your arm. That's up into the little fingers. So your little fingers feel like they get longer. Then interlace your hands behind your head, elbows point up and lift the gaze as your head rests into your hands. Keep the bend in the front knee. Both hands down inside your foot. Step to downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Bend your leg in the air and circle your thigh bone. Just like it felt like when you're on hands and knees. And again, you can, if you need to, drop to your knees. And then other way. Look forwards, start stepping and lift your left hand, replace it with your left foot. Back heel turns into the floor. The warrior one legs, bending into the left knee. Arms go straight up. Lengthen from the sides of your chest, up the back of your arms into the little fingers, thumbs pointing back. Soften your lower ribs. Interlace your fingers, your left foot where head drops into your hands, elbows lift as you look up. Keep breathing smoothly and consistently through your nose. Right, both hands come down, left foot steps back, downward facing dog. This time lift your right leg straight in the air and turn the hip open so your toes point out to the side. Then take a big step outside your right hand, lower the back knee, your right toes pointing slightly outwards off the mat, and swoop your right arm round behind, rest it on your back leg. Shift the left knee back a bit further, get a little lower in your hips and try bending the back leg. If you can bend it and hold the foot, do. Otherwise, leave your foot on the floor and just stay touching the back leg or your hip. A couple more breaths. Try not to be on the center of the kneecap, but to be above the kneecap. It's much more comfortable if you can get there. Release your right hand down and walk your right foot inside your right hand. Start straightening your right leg, walking your fingers back. Come onto fingertips, or you could just bring the bolster in and put one hand down on your bolster, or both hands down on your bolster to get a little bit more height, or a block if you're using a block. Draw your sit bone back and lift up through the toes. Keep your hips where they are, in line with the back knee, and bend your right foot in closer. Tuck your back toes under and see if you can sit on the back heel and lift your knee off the floor. Bringing your right foot in flat on the floor for balance. As you keep your back toes tucked, see if you can sit on the heel. If you struggle to do that, then you could be in this position instead and try tucking your toes under for a little stretch in the toes and the calf. Sitting further back if you can. And then hands walk forwards, downward facing dog. Just roll your bolster off the mat if you happen to use it. Left leg goes straight up. Turn the hip open so it looks out to the side. Look forwards, step outside your left hand, toes turned out, lower your right knee. Left arm swoops up and round behind. You want to shift a bit further off the kneecap and try and get further above the kneecap, maybe bending, catching hold. Releasing your back foot, and as you come in with your arm, walk your left foot in a bit. Start shifting your weight back, straighten your left leg out. If the back is rounded, then you're going to bring your bolster in again and put your hands down on the bolster or block and try and lengthen from your pelvis all the way through the sides of your waist. Your left sit bone particularly feels like it's kind of drawing back in your buttocks. Left toes up. And then keep your hips where they are. Bend your left leg so the foot's flat to the floor. Tuck your right toes and sit back onto your right heel. If you need to keep the knee on the floor, do, or float the knee if you can. And bring your hands onto your legs if you want to try and balance without the hands on the floor. And the knee back down, go to downward facing dog. And walk your hands and feet towards each other. Hold onto your elbows again. And then see if you can do the same, but bring your arms round behind the legs. So you're drawing yourself in closer. Sit bones reaching up. And both sit bones trying to get high in your bottom. Release your arms and roll your spine up, pushing down into your feet. As you roll up, shoulders roll back. Put one fingertip to the top of your head and see if you can push from your feet all the way up to that fingertip so you get a real sense of getting long and finding your midline. Keep that arm there, reach it straight up in the air. And with the other hand, bend your leg and catch hold of your foot. Roll your shoulder back and start pushing your thigh bone back, lifting the leg behind you, tipping forwards from your standing hip. Keep lifting the bent leg thigh behind and open through your chest, through your hip, through your spine. Make your way back up again and release that side. Take your other hand, fingertip to the top of your head, push from your feet and get nice and tall. Then take that arm straight up, catch hold of the other foot. And again, start to push the thigh bone back. Your arm stays long and straight. As the foot presses into your hand, send that leg up. And then make your way back up. And release back down. Bring your legs together. Sit in chair pose, so your hips go back and your arms either go forwards or bring them up so they frame the sides of your head. Push through your legs and bring your hands to chest. Thumbs lining with your chest as your legs straighten out. Then we'll try a twisted chair. So bend again into your legs, knees stay together. And take your right elbow onto the left thigh, just outside the thigh if you can. And press your top palm into your bottom palm as you turn. Keep the knees together. Swing your right hip in slightly. Left hip in slightly, sorry. Push through the legs, come to center. And then lower down the other way. Keep the knees touching. Left elbow onto right thigh. And the other way. Pressing top palm down. Looking to the side. And then back into standing. Then we're going to try and go down to a double toe tucked kneeling position. So bend your knees, place your fingers on the floor in front, and first of all, lift your heels and see how far down you can go. From here, if you need the knees to be on the floor and just to be in a high position like this, you don't want to take the weight into your toes, then stay high. Otherwise, you try and balance so that you're kneeling on your heels, squeeze the legs together, place your hands on your thighs initially. And like when you pushed down on the floor when we first sat up in this session, I want you to try and wriggle the sides of your waist long, feel the length, right up to the top of your head where the fingertip was. Bring your hands into a prayer position. Keep squeezing the legs and take a little twist one direction. Doesn't matter which way you go. Keep squeezing the legs. Keep the knees lifted if you can. Use the side muscles of your waist to turn you. Come slowly through center. Keep squeezing the legs and turn the other way. And then back to center. Knees go down to the floor, hands to the floor, and step back to a plank position with your toes tucked. Knees touch down and then lower all the way down to the ground. Take your arms by your side, lengthen through your legs, and then see if you can bend your legs and catch hold of your feet without too much strain. If there is strain, leave your legs straight. Lift your head, chest, and arms off the floor. Those who are holding the feet, you're pushing your feet into your hands like you did in the balance. Lifting through your chest. And then lower down and push back to a child's pose. Stretch in front. Let's take a few breaths there and let's use this as our bridging between the flow and the yin. The flow and then into the slow. Take a few restful breaths. Start setting in the scene of yin. Slowing down. Relaxing a bit more. Good, and then come all the way up onto hands and knees. Cross your ankles or swing your legs around and come to sitting. Cross one shin in front of the other, like you did when you were sitting on the bolster. And if you need to sit on something, then you can do. And I'm going to use the bolster in front. You can have it high if you want to. And we're going forwards into square pose. Just start to tip forwards and lean on your bolster, wherever it supports you. By keeping your feet flexed, and as you go forward, stay long in the sides of your body. I'm going to hold it here for about another 2.5 minutes. So with that in mind, just take it slowly. Reach into the 3 principles of Yin Yoga, which are to meet your edge, to become still there, leaning against the edge in stillness. Any movements are steady, and then enjoying the time, letting time do its work as your body starts to yield. And when we start to slow down like this, it really is a great chance for us to get closer to the off switch. Because for many of us, the off switch is buried quite deeply. We can get very accustomed to just constantly be doing, even if it's just in our head, always thinking, getting a bit tangled up. So let this be an untangling of your body's tissues and also an untangling of your mind's activity. Breathe smooth, relaxing. And then make your way up. Hold the back of your legs and use your hands to help your legs go out to relax. Hands on the floor or your legs as you just sit and pause. Close your eyes maybe here. Just feel that nice release through your thighs, buttocks.
Your thighs. Right.
And we're going into the other side. Switch the cross. Other shin is in front. Flex your feet. Get long. And then fold. Sometimes we need just that bit of movement to get us in there. Yeah, obviously, the yin element of stillness isn't throughout. But once we hit the edge, that's when we become still. And then if the edge eases off, then we know we can move again and we go in a bit deeper. Feeling into your uniqueness, the uniqueness of each side. Having no expectation of what should or shouldn't happen, but just being present to what's happening. Connect with yourself on this physical level more subtly. When we start to build this deeper connection with our body, more intelligent connection with our body, then when we do come across little injuries or niggles we might pick up in life through accidents or activities, whatever it is, then we're much more able to heal ourselves, to know what our bodies need to get right, if we've already established that close connection with feeling and being in our body, understanding our body intimately. And then make your way up. Hold onto your legs and help them back out again. Pause. And we're coming down onto our backs. Have your bolster in reaching distance, or whatever you're using in reaching distance. Start with your legs. Let's go legs straight first of all, actually. So if you put the bolster underneath your hips, lift your hips up and straighten out the legs. So we'll just give the knees a little break there. Knee joints straight, hips elevated, arms can be by your side, wide or behind. And if you go behind, you might like to hold onto opposite elbows. We can switch when we get halfway to the other clasp. But if that's not doable for you, if your arms are hanging off the floor, we want them to be able to relax down. So you could put a cushion underneath them or just take them a bit wider so they can get to the ground. Feel there's a nice freedom in your position so that your breath can move and expand and soften you. And then feel that softness envelop you, especially as you exhale. Exhaling as though your skin is really warm, kind of melting across your body, softening layer by layer, deeper into your body. If you've crossed your arms, then switch the cross so you're your less dominant way. And then press into your heels a little and maybe just turn your legs inwards, outwards. Get some control back into the legs, and then one foot flat to the floor, then the other. Once both feet are flat, bring your arms down. You can just carefully lift the tailbone and shift your bolster off. Again, keep it nearby. Have your feet wide, rest your knees together. Lengthen through your lower back so your tailbone feels like it's trying to reach down to the bottom of the mat. Keep your left leg exactly as it is. And then start walking your right foot a little bit wider so you can drop onto the inside of your right ankle, the inside of your right foot, so the knee falls down toward the middle of the mat. Left knee just stays where it is. Some of you might want to bring the foot in a bit closer towards you. So we've got the inside of the right foot moving to the floor and the right knee moving away from your hip down toward the far end of the mat and falling kind of to the middle line of the mat. It should feel something like that. Somewhere around that region. Everyone will be a bit different. And if it's pinchy in the knee, then obviously you don't go as far, and you can always put something underneath the inner leg to support it, a block underneath the inner thigh, for example. Each exhale, feel as a heaviness in your thigh. Space from your hip to your knee. You're not pushing, and it definitely doesn't want to be bouncing. That's suggesting that you're pushing force. But just see if you can relax the resistance. So gravity can be the natural push. You don't need to do anything, but just let it feel heavy. Also try and stay heavy in your right hip if it starts to lift. Draw your right hip down toward the floor so it guides the knee up. And as your knee comes up, back to knock-kneed position. Rest the knees together, pause. The other side. So right knee stays where it is, just slightly falling inwards. And then the left foot walks a bit wider and the left thigh bone drops in. If your right knee wants more of a rest, you can just straighten your right leg down the mat. And you might, if you've got long arms and you can easily reach your foot, you might just hold your foot and maybe even bring it in a bit closer as the thigh drops down. Be careful of any pulling or discomfort in your knees. Although the knees might feel a very light stretch, we don't want it to be much. Most of the feeling wants to be in your thigh or your hip. For some of you, it might be in the hip. Just relax, comfortable with yourself right now, comfortable in your company. No forcing, just relaxing, noticing how the sensation can easily shift. What I felt first of all in the front of the thigh is now going round to the outer thigh and round into my buttocks. And I can feel the tissue there just starting to shift like tectonic plates. Everything connected and just starting to affect each other. So now your left thigh bone starts to pull toward the floor so that the knee ends up coming up. And again, just moving slowly, go back to that knock-kneed position. Take your time, no rush or jolt. And then let both knees come up to your chest, one hand on each knee or back of the thigh. Back of the thighs might be a bit easier to reach. And just let the knees just come in and out really lightly with the lightest of touch and assistance from your hands. Feet on the floor and lift your hips back up onto the bolster. And take your legs straight up in the air and let the weight of your legs sink down into the bolster. Just a few breaths here, letting your legs sink down into the hips. The hips, now that they've been loosened off a lot warmer, more receptive. Maybe some tension has released in there. Now your legs can really drop in and make a nice deep connection. Let the legs really fall into the hip space. And then everything around your pelvis supports that too and begins to feel more open. Bend your knees, feet drop to the floor. Push the bolster underneath the back of your knees and then lay down with the back of the legs supported. Find a nice, comfortable relaxation position. Shavasana, corpse pose. Become still once you're there. And again, just enjoy the time here where it feels really constructive rest. Even just through your breath, feel how that practice of movement and opening into your body has created a new level of freedom. It frees our body, but also there's a mirror effect, and it helps to also calm and free our mind from the bind of thoughts that it can get tangled in. Feel that lightness. Take a deep breath in. And a long breath out. Bending your legs a bit more, push the bolster away and turn to your side. Make your way towards sitting. Palms in a prayer. Taking a deep breath in. And then bowing your head, thanking yourself for your company, for your presence, for this time you've dedicated to your well-being. Namaste. Thank you all.